Avi Shteingart is here, psychotherapist, social worker, specializing in addiction, depression, and anxiety. Avi, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you here. Isaac Hellman is here, also social worker, specializing in addiction and depression. Amudim refers cases to both of these gentlemen. Isaac, welcome to the show as well.
Thanks for having us.
Well, the two of you could certainly address some of the concerns that are going on in our community. And Avi, we'll start with you. As much as Amudim does, and as many cases they send your way and the way of other professionals in this field, I would imagine that if they had the resources, they'd be able to send even more people to professionals like yourself. How rampant are these situations in our community?
Well, Isaac and I are getting calls almost every day that we're trying to connect. It's a two-way relationship with Amudim. Amudim
Right.
calls us, but we're often calling case managers at Amudim to get help with where we could connect people who are calling us, even if it's family members. Just last week I had a call with Sarah Kagan to speak with her about a family member, connecting a family member of mine with a case manager. It's nonstop, whether it's finding resources for financing or the proper therapist or a program for someone. We're always trying to find someone.
Isaac, when you trained for this, was it much different then? Has it accelerated like crazy from that period of time?
That's a good question. I don't think you're ever trained for this. I think it's something that we're constantly learning, and I think that, I question what we did before Amudim, just like, for example, Project Heal and David Weingarten, and what they've done for victims or survivors of sexual abuse. To me, it's not even a question. Avi and I are here not just for ourselves, but for support of this place, Amudim, which has done so much for the Jewish community. I don't know what we did before that.
It's interesting how for so many years, certainly when I was growing up, the impression or the assumption was that these types of situations do not exist in our community. And we've gotten to a point, thank God, where it's out in the open. I don't know, is it out in the open to the extent that it should be?
It's definitely in the community that we work in. I think it's definitely more seen, but I work in some communities where it's not as visible. There's still work to do, getting the message out to realize, Rabbanim and community leaders to really understand, to take this seriously. I think we therapists, like you said, we weren't trained to expect all of this, but we're definitely seeing it every single day.
Right. There are some patients, clients, that you could spend a tremendous amount of time with, where the struggle or the process for them is just, could take, I assume, months or years, right?
Absolutely, and I think one of the benefits that we've experienced, and I speak for Avi and myself, of working with Amudim is having that type of case manager. I can tell you that there are clients I've worked with for 3-4 years that I'm still talking to the case manager, whether it be Miriam Lankry, whether it be Susie, Naftali. There are so many really, the case managers are almost that missing piece, because we can only do so much if we meet for an hour a week, we meet twice a week, whatever it might be. But that extra piece of support, and it's not always therapy. Sometimes people just need more.
I'm going to ask both of you this question because Tzvi and I, Tzvi Gluck, concentrated on this point both yesterday when we started the live stream and earlier tonight. I don't know how you are able to end your day after having been inundated with all the problems that are going on in our community, because when you see clients, really all of the difficulties in our community are encapsulated in these individuals that you're working with, right? Are there victories? Is there tremendous progress that's made on a regular basis that keeps you going in a positive manner?
For sure, for sure. I mean, Isaac and I are business partners. We have a very similar style. We're very out of the box working with clients. I'll go to clients if they're simchas, like if they're getting married.
Oh, that's nice.
I work with a client for 3-4 years,
right.
And we finished. A year later, he'll text me for his address and say, can you come to my wedding? And you see that success, that victory.
Isaac, what do you think?
I think the victories are there. I think it's, are we willing to see them? And I think, are people willing to invest in them? Because I think at the same time, there are also the stories that are negative, and there are stories where people relapse or people fall back to negative behaviors. But I think that the victories are on a daily basis. And I think for every step that someone's willing to be brave and kind of face those demons and face those traumas, I think that victory is there every day.
Anything shock you at this point anymore, or you've seen it all, as the expression goes?
Definitely seen a lot. but there's always, someone new coming in, a new person. That
Are you surprised that so many clients are I would have to assume this is true, and you'll tell me if I'm right, but it would seem to me that the age of the clients continues to get lower and lower. Is there more intervention necessary because there are kids in really challenging situations these days?
I think the exciting thing is that we're addressing it with kids, and so kids are coming in, earlier if there's a
and their
kid
parents recognize the problem.
Yeah,
or sometimes parents are the problem. I get it,
But parents recognizing that it's a problem, as opposed to hopefully they won't do anything. Hopefully, things will be addressed. So recognizing that people need help. I think a lot of that is just because organizations like Amudim are
the structure of Amudim is tremendous. Is a tremendous benefit to our community. We talk about offices worldwide, etc., and that's all wonderful. But the nuts and bolts of what they do on a daily basis in all of these places is what's really keeping the organization at the forefront. It's their, what seems to me, this organized effort they have. The case managers, as you described, and following up on everybody whenever necessary, no matter what age they may be, if it's a family, it's an individual, etc. That whole structure, that whole system just seems to be working so well.
Yeah, that or having speeches in the neighborhood, in all different neighborhoods to really promote it.
Prevention. I've seen even just after some of the videos that Amudim's done, I'll get calls and be like, my son had a drink this Shabbos, is he an alcoholic? And I'm like, no, that's okay. You should maybe monitor it, but at least there's that awareness now, and at least people are talking about it. Or where in the past, shuls would just go on and on and on, and people would just let things flow. People are paying attention now, and I think that's really what we need for our kids, is just to be paying attention.
There are certain unhealthy traditions in our culture that it would be a good idea if they changed it up a bit, right? It would be a good idea if certain things were eliminated, certain things were tweaked. Like sometimes when you keep things the way they are, I mean, the alcoholism obviously is what I'm referencing here. But there are other situations as well, I would think, that if we would pay more attention to the direction that our culture is going in, we'd be a little bit more careful and adjust things accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing that with even marijuana being
good example,
so
very good example,
casual in our frum community, whether it's teenagers, accessibility, or even adults. When kids are around, I'm seeing it a lot more. So it's kind of like shifted alcohol plus. I don't know if that's...
But from the same token, I've seen also with like sexual abuse, where in the past it would be sort of kind of pushed under the carpet a little bit, so to speak. I feel like we're finding the right words to say to people, and we're actually encouraging them as opposed to shaming them, and dealing with it in a healthier way. So yeah, we have both sides, but I do see a lot of progress there.
Has the explosion in online gambling seeped into our community in a negative fashion?
That's for sure. Whether it's in the frum community or outside, where both of us are getting calls pretty regularly. I have a teenager who lost $100,000 in 6 months. Just sports betting. And it's so accessible.
Yeah.
And
I don't even know if I can blame them, frankly, with what's happened here. It's completely deregulated.
And the way they bring you in, they offer you free money, and people are just, even young kids, and especially play fantasy football, so there's not that much of a jump to fantasy betting, and it gets really, really dangerous.
Yet another thing we should keep in mind as we sit here tonight and address parents and leaders in the community, rabbis, etc., just add that to the list of things we need to be concerned about. The online gambling, the accessibility of gambling via telephone, via cell phone, more accurately, is really out of control. And these two gentlemen have just confirmed that. My thanks to both Avi Shteingart and to Isaac Hellman. Thank you to both of you. I know you both join me in encouraging everybody to support the great work of Amudim.